This is a demonstration of how to finish your polyhedra that we started the other day. We're going to maybe start from the beginning, try to give you every possible thing that you're going to need to know. We started with making a triangle like this, just 3 centimeters, 7 centimeters height, and carefully cut out. We traced around it 5 times, traced around it 5 times, made a pattern like this. This is your main pattern. Then you're going to draw it onto the poster board and make flaps. There has to be a flap on each bottom base, and then one flap either on this side or this side. Doesn't have to be. They really should come in at an angle. You just cut them in about 45-degree angles. And then, once you get those, you need 12 of them. You take an X-Acto knife. Now, if you don't have an X-Acto knife at home, you don't have to do this, but you can take a scissors and carefully, of course, just score them. Just by going over them, if you score it a little bit, make a little indentation, a little scratch, if you will, then it bends a lot easier. And you keep doing that with all of those. Let me do that real quick. If you go too hard, you will cut through it, and then you'll have to make another piece, or we'll talk about how to make a patch if you go too much. Score them. I like to bend these. Then I like to bend these. The glue, the glue goes on the flap. If you don't have hot glue, you don't need hot glue. You can use Elmer's glue. It just takes longer, that's all. Hot glue on the flap, on the flap. Hopefully your corners line up, corner to corner, if you did your design the right way, if you measured and cut correctly. There's one of the stellations, one of the pointy things. Here's another one. Let me glue that one. Let me cut this flap off first. Should be at an angle a little bit. These flaps have to come up to an angle because you're coming up to the pointy part. Now I've got 2. How do they go together? Well, they go together base to base. One flap on here, one flap on here, little glue. Put them on together in there. Hold for a little bit. Where does the third one go? The third one goes right in here. There should be 3. 1, 2, 3. Not 4. And they should fit. Of course, if they don't, it's because you're measuring and your cutting might be off a little bit. If you have one, but you forgot to put the flaps on, you can take just a piece and actually just kind of ragtag, kind of a scratch one. You can put a little glue on here. You patch it by making a little piece there. Then you can have this flap and you'll be good to go. You can also make them for the bottom if you want. If you want to hang it with a paper clip, I take a piece of just scratch posters, just scraps. Take a paper clip, I unfold it so that it's here like this. I make a hole just by poking through to the point here where it kind of bends. I wrap it around. Then I take one of them that looks like I can maybe poke it through, put a whole bunch of glue in there to hold it, and that way you can hang it from your ceiling or wherever, Christmas tree. Let it dry. Poster, the paper clip will be right there. You keep putting right here. The real key will be that last piece. Will the last piece fit? Well, that's a good question. It all depends on your measuring, on your cutting, how well you scored them with the X-Acto knife. And one piece goes in between 2. There's always 3 at one point. And it should look, well, it should like what you saw in class. I don't have one with me right now, but that's how you finish your polyhedron by Monday.